far from Penmaenmawr Museum, where I am today, there is a stream called Nant y Gyrrach. And amser maithynol, once upon a time, the people round here wouldn't dare drink the water that ran from it. You see, they said it was poisonous. They said that it's got its red colour not from the irony peat around it, but from blood. Gwaed. Blood trickling down from the mountains, from where human sacrifices were killed on Bryn Du. Blood that trickled down a witch's blade, and that blade, people said, was Andrasta. Andrasta, there was a name that would strike fear into the hearts of even the bravest soldiers. People used to say she was the most evil creature on the face of the earth, that she was an ugly old hag with razor-sharp fangs and long bony fingers, and that on cold, misty nights they could hear her, flying over Talavan, looking for her daughter, with a high whistle from her yew-wood broomstick and a low whoosh from her long skirts, darting this way and that over the crags, then up into the clouds. And people said that if you were brave enough or stupid enough to wrap up against the night air and to wander to Nant y Gyrrach, where the waters echoed off the rocks, you might be able to see a dark, shadowy figure hiding in the trees. That you might be able to feel the brush of the breeze over your face from her long skirts as she flew past you. That if you were very lucky or very unlucky, you might hear, mixed in with the sound of rushing water, a shrill laugh as Andrasta conversed with the evil spirits of the night. But shall I let you in on a little secret? Nant y Gyrrach actually means wetland river, not Nant y Gwrach, which would be the witch's stream. And the sound of people screaming in the mountains, well, that's not people being sacrificed, that's simply young foxes testing out their voices in the night air. The sound of a broom flying over Talavan, that is the cry of a curlew. And the stories of Andrasta's savage sacrifices, that is ancient Roman propaganda. So you see, there probably isn't an evil witch named Andrasta after all, but that's not to say there's no Andrasta whatsoever. That name used to belong, and I suppose still belongs, to an ancient Celtic goddess of victory, one who helped Boudica or Byddig herself in the fight against the Romans. Amser maithynol, once upon a time, before dawn broke, Byddig and her soldiers were waiting for battle. But before they fought, Byddig stood proudly, holding her spear aloft, golden torque around her neck, her red hair almost seeming to be on fire in the first light, and she called to Andrasta. Woman to woman, sister to sister, soldier to soldier, directing her words of wisdom, justice and rage, and asking for victory. And when she had finished speaking, when the air about her was as heavy and charged as it is before a lightning storm, she released a brown hair with shining eyes from her cloak, and her soldiers watched as it ran as fast as it could over to the right, the auspicious side, which meant that Andrasta had given them her blessing. A huge cheer erupted, horns were sounded, and by the time the sound of horses' hooves on the earth and metal hitting metal had died down, 2 entire Roman cities had been destroyed. Andrasta somewhere at Byddig's side. Well, whatever you choose to believe about Andrasta, the truth has never got in the way of a good story. So if you happen to wander up around Talavan or close to Nant y Gyrrach on a cold, misty night, let me know what you find. A witch, a goddess, or just the sounds of nature around us.